the critics are raving. Fantastic Four is the best Marvel movie since the last Marvel movie since the last Marvel movie.
Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
No! Don't stop! Bring tissue!
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Katie on X says bring tissues, but not because you're going to cry.
Don't
Dio
stop!
says it beats you off and doesn't stop.
I stretch the bounds of space.
Daddy Pedro brings it home in the Fantastic Four.
Bring tissues? So many tissues! But not because you're going to cry. Maybe some dick tears. Fantastic Four beats you off and doesn't stop. No!
Okay.
Don't stop!
That is fantastic.
Fantastic Four, Daddy Pedro. Fantastic Four, Daddy Pedro.
Entertainment news today. You're such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good. That comes out of Hollywood. But there's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark. All those bombs and flops, but need never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark.
Welcome, everybody, to Midnight's Edge After Dark, your favorite show on the YouTube.
It's clobbering time.
That's right. It's clobbering time. Welcome, everybody. We got all 32 flavors of Nick Weiser here. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I had all things considered with some really major news. I had a good day taking my youngest shopping. We went to the biggest mall in the state of Illinois and spent about $300 on her, and it was a good time. We had fun, and she's very happy that she got treated like a queen on her 10th birthday today.
Well, that's so sweet. And we lost him. So he was too sweet. We had to get rid of him. CC Karaoke is here. Rare treat. How you doing? All the way in from Canada.
Yeah, I'm back from my trip. So hopefully for the next few weeks, anyways, not so rare. But yeah, glad to be back. Having an all right time.
And welcome back, Nick.
Thank you. I was in blackface mode, and then I'm like, oh no, it's kicking me out because I'm trying to do blackface.
You're still blackface.
Back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So with that, let's get the shindig on the road.
That's right.
We got a super chat already from Kidsism 101. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Kidism. Hi, Tom. I emailed you an edit of Superman 1 and 2. I hopefully got it and like it. I did see it. I haven't got a chance to check it out yet. I use the extended and Donner cut like you suggested on the tier list. Sweet. I will have to check that out. I have been busting my hump editing videos and doing all sorts of stuff for Midnight's Edge, especially since Pablo has been out sick. So yeah, it's been a struggle for me to get to do anything for more than 2 seconds that doesn't require my attention for Midnight's Edge. So I will check into this, though. I did see your email, and I appreciate it, and I can't wait to check out what you got, what you edited together there. So thank you for sending that to me, and that catches us up on Super Chats thus far. But to kick things off today, we did have a bit of sad news. Not only did we lose Malcolm Jamal Warner earlier this week, but we just lost one of the pioneers, aka Godfathers of Heavy Metal, Mr. Ozzy Osborne. And it's fitting that I have CC and Nick here today, because two of the most musical guys I know, CC, of course, who has CC Karaoke, and Nick, who's a headbanger, and most likely his father is Lemmy. We can't confirm this, but we definitely cannot deny it.
It's pretty damn confirmable.
I mean, it's not like, you know, one of those things. But look, I mean, he just did a really excellent concert not too long ago, his farewell concert. Nick, I'm going to turn this over to you because first, and then we'll go with CC because, man, I know this has got to be something that really hit you hard today. Of course, Ozzy Osbourne got his big start with Black Sabbath, and then he went out on his own. Tell us a little bit about Ozzy and how he affected you and music in general, and kick us off with this.
Man, oh God, I got the news while I was we were out at the food court at the mall, and I was just decided to check my phone, and the very first thing that pops up is Ozzy, and right then and there I was just like, God damn it, fucking knew it. Not happy. I was ready to go full cage, and I'm like, all right, my child's here. I gotta contain myself, and yeah, I was like, it was like not the most shocking thing, but it was just like the fact that it still actually happened, kind of like when like Stanley died, or when you heard about Steve Ditko. It was like one of those things where even though you knew it was coming, and I had noticed some off things about him as far back as 2007 to be specific. So it was still gut wrenching to get that information. But dating back to when I first got an Ozzy, it was the very most stereotypical story. I heard the typical songs that I guess you could say everyone heard. And, I liked them. I wasn't like, over the moon, but it was one I had heard the album Diary of a Madman, the second Ozzy solo album. And it was between that album and the Black Sabbath album Master of Reality. Those were the two. That was when I was like, okay, I am a true believer now in this sound, this voice, and heavy metal as a whole. And I was off to races, becoming a metalhead. Obviously, I've very well documented that. Obviously, Ryan James Dio is my favorite singer of Black Sabbath, but that's not going to take away from the greatness and the pioneering that Ozzy Osbourne did before him. I mean, come on, Volume 4. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Sabotage, and of course, once again, my favorite, Master of Reality. So what he did was absolutely once again, he's a godfather. He was a godfather, and between the original lineup of Sabbath and the fact that he managed to score like a few great killer guitars for his solo band. I mean, between Randy Rhoads and then the underrated Jake E. Lee, which no one talks about. Shame on you guys for not. All I know is I hope that there's a killer jam session with Ozzy and Randy. Lemmy's probably going to be on bass with some backing vocals. Still got to figure out the drummer situation. There'll probably be Neil Peart, but Neil Peart usually likes prog, so he'll probably just be a fill-in. But there's a good jam session going on somewhere. And I'll definitely be talking more in depth about tonight, including the first time I heard about the music, and then of course, the one time I saw Ozzy solo live. I'll be talking about when we do our Thank You Ozzy stream on my channel later tonight. But that's what I'll say for now, so I can let CC have the floor for a bit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll start by echoing your sentiments a bit, where it's like, I kind of just internally wanted to believe that he was going to live for another 10 or 20 years, inexplicably against all logic, you know. But I'm also not surprised. And when I read this news, it feels to me like he probably lived longer than he would have because he wanted to do that final show, you know. At least that's how it feels to me.
Oh, did you see what I posted on Twix?
I actually did not. No.
Oh, Tom, I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, why don't you bring that up while CC's talking?
Yeah. Go on, carry on. I'll get the thing up.
No, so I'm about as devastated as I could imagine for any artist passing away. David Bowie was another one because I'm a huge fan of David Bowie. I'm gonna, as far as my favorite Ozzy albums, I'm probably gonna go a little off board because I always pick the unusual things.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
For Black Sabbath, I'm gonna go with Sabotage.
Oh, dude, I know many guys like Sabotage. That's good. That album deserves all the praise.
I mean, just Symptom of the Universe on its own is one of the greatest songs ever recorded. And for his solo work, I'm gonna go with Osmosis.
Ooh, that would actually be my second or third favorite Ozzy solo. I would say that's probably the last great Ozzy solo album was Osmosis. That last one. All the albums after that had maybe one or two good songs, but as far as a good album, oh god, yeah, Osmosis, top to bottom.
I feel like sometimes it gets a little overlooked, and even then, I've been getting higher on Technical Ecstasy lately. Which I think was always an overlooked album. And then I'm starting to think like, well, Gypsy Woman, All Moving Parts Stand Still.
No, but Osmosis, really I remember when that came out. That was a killer album,
yeah.
Go ahead, finish, CC. I almost said some, but finish.
No, that was okay. Like that, but that whole time in music, I'm a big fan, right? 1995, kind of like peak music for me. 94, 93, 94, 95.
Mm-hmm. A whole genre of metal was spawned just to basically blatantly rip off Ozzy Osborne era Black Sabbath, and that would be, of course, be the doom metal section with big long songs that focus on one simple, heavy, chuggy riff. You had like newer bands like Windhand to straight doom bands like Electric Wizard. Of course, like all aping that. So, and then, of course, the more obvious ones like Candlemass, all those bands, like they're all basically just shameless Black Sabbath worship bands. And a lot of them were good. And they'll tell you, we were obviously just ripping off Ozzy era Sabbath. I mean, one band spawned an entire subgenre. That is wild when you put that in perspective like that. Luckily, the clones are good. So it's one of those cases where a lot of the rip-off bands are good, so I could forgive it. But man, to do that is insane because, it's like it's not always something that happens where one act is like sets a standard to a point where a genre becomes like relying on something. It's one thing when bands are like, oh wow, we should be influenced by that a little bit, and that's commonplace in every single song of every single genre ever. But a whole entire genre. That's insane.
I mean, there's a whole other discussion in that because I'm not sure that has happened in the last 15 or 20 years. And especially, I would think with modern technology, there should be a whole lot of sounds a person could create nowadays. Maybe it's buried in the indie scene, right? But you're right. I mean, Black Sabbath is among a handful of bands that actually advanced the sound of what we considered what people could create. So I wouldn't even go so far as to say knockoff bands necessarily, as that by launching a whole new kind of concept of what we could create, what we could record, it inspired bands to follow on that and develop it further, right? I mean, I actually got into Western music late. I got in really late. I was like 16 years old before I really started listening to the American radio. But Black Sabbath was still right up, one of the very, very first bands. Whether or not this is embarrassing or not, the first band was the Bloodhound Gang. I went from there. But Black Sabbath was definitely one of the first 5 or 10 that I got into, and for good reason. You know, you're right. The 70s were more than disco. You know, much as the 80s were more than just, you know, radio killed the or video killed the radio star. You know?
Right. But so you got this. I got this up here, Nick, from this Rolling Stone interview. It looks like, and it says if I could continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is foreshadowing. He says in his words, "If I can't continue doing shows on a regular basis, I just want to be well enough to do one show. Keywords, one show where I can say, hi guys, thanks so much for my life. That's what I'm working towards. If I drop down dead at the end of it, I'll die a happy man," he said at the time. And what happened a few weeks ago? The big Birmingham show, back to the beginning, where it was Black Sabbath. And it's unfortunate that show, like, even though the show was a big success, but Ozzy's set for his solo act and his Black Sabbath both had to be cut back because of how bad in shape he was. They all had to be cut down to like 4 or 5 songs each. And on top of it, he had to be on a chair. He was actually supposed to do his last big world tour in 2019 or 2018 and got postponed a whole year because of health issues. I think that's when the Parkinson's started. I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but then 2020 happened. We all know the fear happened. And then, then all of a sudden that calmed down, and they were hoping to give it a shot again, and they just couldn't get him cleared to do a tour. And that's when he kind of came to 2023 and realized, yeah, this touring thing, I've been trying to get a tour going for half a decade. It ain't going to happen. And it was nice that we got this show. And I do have a few buddies of mine who did fly out to Birmingham for that show. And what was cool is for all the opening acts, which was like Anthrax, Slayer, Mastodon, Gojira, Metallica, all those bands, they all covered a Sabbath song or two each. That was what was cool too. Like I think Lamb of God did Children of the Grave. Slayer actually did I think they did Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. But point is, everyone was very respectful and mindful of their tributes. Of course, Pantera did Planet Caravan because they covered Planet Caravan on the Far Beyond Driven album. And that was cool that they did that in that fashion. So it kind of, maybe they did that as a way to respond to the shortened Sabbath set. Hey, since, you're only getting like 4 or 5 songs from the 4 OGs, we'll all play a Sabbath song as well. And that's cool that they did that. And also it's a good way to, pay respects to the 4 guys who arguably started it all. I mean, I'd say, if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, you could probably say, well, Tony Iommi is the actual first guy, sure. But as far as the first band proper, it's obviously Bill Ward, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, Ozzy, John Michael Osborne.
Well, it almost makes you wonder if they kind of knew that he was getting close to the end. And that's kind of why they did this whole thing. But anyway, you're about to say CC. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying this. Just adding to that is all you can really ask for is that you can close out properly. You can get that chance. That's what he wanted. And speaking of Ronnie James Dio, he got that chance. Even though I don't know how much he knew at the time that it was going to be his last tour. I mean, at least that format, that particular lineup of Black Sabbath got to have that one last tour with him too, and it was fantastic tour. And I mean, I'm hoping in my mind, I'm like, can we get Tony Martin back up there for something sometime? Because he's the
Tony
other
Martin
one.
still got the
He's
fights,
great.
man. If you listen to him,
he's
he's
a
still
fantastic
got
singer
it.
too.
He still got it. And Ronnie Dio wasn't like having any like major like issues going on. It just like it happened like very abruptly. And he was actually a really clean guy. Like he had his prying phase, but like Alice Cooper, he got out of the way in his early times, whereas Ozzy Osbourne was like, bitch, I'm going to push this shit into overtime. And obviously Ozzy did. Anyway.
76 is pretty good for someone who did as many drugs as Ozzy.
I mean, his stories are great, man. I mean, obviously we all know about the pissing on the Alamo and biting the head off the bat.
I mean, he's the thing of legends, right? I mean, what's great is like, he'll go like, I thought it was a fake bat, like, and then pissing on the Alamo. He's like, I didn't know it was a fucking Alamo. I just had to piss,
I love. I'm like, are you sure you didn't know? I actually almost call bullshit on that. I'm like,
He was so drunk, I doubt he even knew which state he was in. And I don't mean like state of like residence. I mean like state of mind. Like, I mean, yes. I mean, look, this man lived a wild ass life, and I mean, this was posted from that last concert, and it hits really hard. And I'm sure it'll get clipped out or muted or whatever, but I think it's just poignant to hear him sing. And this isn't even one of my favorite one of his songs. It's a good song, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if I mean, some people might consider it his signature song. I don't know if I necessarily would, but it just hits, man. I'm gonna play it. It gave me goosebumps and the whole
hail as soon as the first note hit. I was
wow.
like, that's powerful, man. That is powerful. That's one of those moments where you have that happen in your life. You remember that, for the rest of eternity. Like that was 19 years ago. And I thought, wow, that's really crazy. And I asked our friends, I'm like, did that really happen? Like, oh yeah, it happened. As soon as Zach Wild hit the first note, boom, hail started coming down. I'm like, that is insane. And
it's
yes,
almost
by
like
the way,
rain at the Super Bowl during Purple Rain. Yeah.
Someone wrote in the chat that Lemmy Kilmister had a part in writing that song. That is true. That is a fact. Lemmy Kilmister was instrumental in the creations of Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yeah. Well, he will be missed. I don't know if there's anything more you guys have to say about the Ozman.
I'm going to save it for the stream.
Yeah, you got a stream coming up. Just send me the link for that so I can link to that.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
But yeah, it's too soon, but he lived a wild and crazy life, and it's hard to argue the world wouldn't be this. I mean, we're a much different place because of Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, everything from music to MTV to fucking reality TV. Right? I mean,
for better or worse, yeah.
I mean, really, I don't talk about probably the most popular reality television show ever to come out besides Survivor. Has to be the Osbournes, right? Like, I mean, Sharon was a meme.
Nothing's ever going to match that. They can try.
I just want to watch the bloody TV. You know?
I like how the last 20 years of Ozzy living, he could sing better than he could speak. Because at least when he was singing, he knew what he was going to say. Versus speaking, he just sounded like Don Vito. So it's just like, well, at least with singing, I know what I had to say. But if I had to go on a tangent, I can't really do that. So he was that guy for the last 15 years.
As someone who is somewhat of a musician, sometimes it is kind of like riding a bike. You just all of a sudden, it just kind of takes over. So that's probably the way it is. And that's probably why he loved doing it so much, right? It's probably some of the few times he felt alive, where you're just on that stage and that spotlight hits you, the music comes in, your exact cues, because it's like a muscle, memory, sensory thing or whatever you want to call it. It just kicks in and all of a sudden that this is the part where you're supposed to do this and your body just naturally does it. And it's probably that adrenaline he got from doing it the few times he was able to get out there on the stage. Because I know that was one thing that was always disappointing, especially talking to guys who would go to Ozfest every year. It's like, yeah, Ozzy couldn't make it this year. You know what I mean? Like that was always the bummer of it. But when he would get out there, it was electrifying. And I mean, he had one of those voices that, I mean, like Michael Jackson. It was just indistinguishable, or it was distinguishable. Sorry, not indistinguishable. It's distinguishable from anybody else's voice on the radio and on albums and I mean in live in concert. I mean my gosh, I mean the guy was an insane legend and he will be missed. So usually I would say let's give a moment of silence, but I feel like for somebody like Ozzy, he'd want like a moment of big cheers, don't you think? Am I wrong on that?
I agree. Strongly agree. That's why we're going to be celebrating tonight. He deserves all the noise. He lived loud. He was loud.
Yeah, he lived life loud. Exactly. You'll be missed, man. Cheers.
Oh, yes. Cheers and beers. Even though, I mean, there's a band called Exciter that wrote a song called Long Live the Loud, but that mentality clearly applied to Ozzy, especially during his peak partying days. I mean, Charlie Sheen, like, he could have eaten his own heart out trying to match what Ozzy was doing on a nightly basis.
Be right back. I need another beer.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, sure a lot of people have been jamming out to Ozzy all day long, and understandably so. So hopefully, you know, you got a chance to see him live. If you didn't, that sucks. But we got other stuff to talk about that's kind of sucky as well. But we got some super chats first. We got Tim Hayes, who's been here for 45 freaking months. Thank you for that, Tim. Jeremiah Hembry said he sent me some things on X. Let's see here. All right. Well, I'll try to get to some of those things, Jeremy. The PSA was something I did want to bring up if I had a chance to here on the stream, so I'll do our best. So yeah. But in the meantime, we did have a couple other news pieces to get to, so I will try to get to those. And thank you, Jeremiah. And then we have NZ Greg, who's been here for 30 months. Thank you for that. And Soul Nightmare says, Superman, are you having a laugh? Hypocrites. What? Superman. He does exactly what I do, Fantastic Four, but better. The Cinemacide Squad. Well, let's talk about that, because that's kind of our next big topic, is the Craptastic Four.
I tried watching Superman. I couldn't finish it.
I heard you didn't care for it so much, and that's fine.
Sorry about that, man.
Nah, don't apologize to me.
Yeah, that's worse when you apologize.
I know some of you really did enjoy it. So,
the thing is, you should stand by your take. I'd rather have
I feel bad that you didn't like it. That's all.
I'd rather have you be authentic and mean what you say and hate it with every fiber of your being than to say, "Well, I like it, but I'm sorry you feel there." No, don't. I'd rather have you disagree with me openly.
Well.
And stand by your conviction, homie. That's what I respect of your take. You mean what you say.
Paulie's in the chat. He has seen this movie if he wants to hop on. But the early reactions are overwhelmingly one-sided. This is true. It is getting a lot of praise. In fact, even Chris Gore said it was better than Superman, though I don't know if he gave it Superman a glowing review either. So that being said, okay, maybe the movie's better than we expected, but I'm still kind of scratching my head going, but isn't it still the Sue Storm show, I guess?
I've heard that it is the Sue Storm show from people who liked it and people who are iffy about it. So there's definitely a unification of agreement on that one.
Well, I'm going to see it Thursday, and I think some of you guys are too, and we're going to talk about it on the show Thursday. But let's see what some folks out there are saying. Fantastic Four is, pun intended, fantastic. And best pure MCU film since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and it's not hyperbole. The story is clear, tight, and family dynamic is so emotionally effective. Giacchino's score rocks, visually astounding. Galactus was great. Then we got, let's see, another one here from Lyra Hale. It says Fantastic Four is on par with Superman. When it comes to story and about hope, love, and family, it's also probably the easiest access point for people who want to get into Marvel. Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss Backrack were fantastic. But Vanessa Kirby, she ate toenails?
I thought that was like
Why
steak.
did she eat toenails?
I thought it was like she ate meat. I was like, okay, great.
I don't understand that. Is this like it's gonna beat me off? It doesn't stop.
Maybe it does beat you off.
It better. And then Jack McByron says Fantastic Four is and this comes from MCB Direct, I guess. I don't know what the hell that is. Fantastic Four is the best visual, stunning, and tonally distinct MCU movie yet. All four of the main cast members kill it. With Vanessa Kirby being the standout, Giacchino's score is an all-timer. You will regret not watching this movie in the biggest theater possible. That sounds like a shill and a half, but hey, who am I to argue? Dan Marcus says the Fantastic Four First Steps is the best MCU film in ages. Max Chapman delivers the goods and an emphasis on character and story while still providing the most gorgeous visuals ever conceived for an MCU film. The anatomically correct Galactus has a huge part. Love it. Wait, what? Anatomically correct?
Oh,
Does
I
that
think
mean
that's
we're-
just their way of saying that they got the size of him right. That's what I got out of there.
when I see that, the size of his weenus.
Oh. No, I don't think they Dr. Manhattaned him. Which, if they did,
I'm
that'd be
picturing some
kinda weird.
swinging dick now.
You want the big blue swinging wang?
They took a look up his skirt and they're like, oh shit, he ain't wearing any undies.
Harold, my dick.
I think Pedro would still prefer the rock hard one.
He would. Pedro would be all up in that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
I actually do believe if there is something that has a genuine strength to this movie, do I see Galactus being a plus, considering that they got his size? That sounds bad. They got the size of him as a giant being, correct? Yeah, I could see that, judging by the foot. I could see that being something that people would like.
Oh, I'm sure it's
whether
much
they
bigger
like the
than a
movie or
foot.
not. I could see that being something that would go over well.
mean-
Well over your head.
No matter how I word it,
I'm sorry, that you just can't say that without me thinking.
Oh,
When
you
you say
can.
anatomically
You're right.
correct, to me, that's usually the call sign for it has a penis.
It might. I'll have to see the movie.
Wow, maybe this is why it beats you off and doesn't stop. It takes him that long just to beat it off once it's so big.
Based on the marketing, I am actually more excited for this than I was for Superman.
I can
I
understand
also have reservations. It has Pedro Pascal in it. It's a female Silver Surfer. It's like, why? Especially with the female Silver Surfer who looks like it's from a cheap TV show 40 years ago. You can't do that, right? Even you need to get the special.
I mean,
effects
look,
right.
there's I read the leaks and stuff, and I can see through some of those leaks as being like, okay, in the right context, it might work, but I just don't see them making that ending work. But anyway, you were saying something else, maybe.
No, but I mean, I do actually like the aesthetic. I mean, it's at least there are things I like about it more than I've seen in MCU films of recent years. So I mean, if I hadn't seen either movie, and of course I tried to watch Superman, but if I hadn't seen either movie and I could only choose one based on the marketing, I would probably actually choose Fantastic Four. I wouldn't have thought that 6 months ago, right? But I'm kind of thinking it now. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it, but I would say I'm more interested in it of the two movies.
Yeah, and then that weirdo Chris Parker over at 3C Film. I don't like this guy. I don't know why. Fantastic Four, the MCU nailed it. He's like a shill in a shit basket. The MCU nailed it. The Shake, I'm not even gonna read his fucking shit because it's shill. Sorry.
Well, I mean, they're all getting beaten off to write these things.
Yeah, this is all like, yeah. I mean, but again, that's why I wanted Paulie to come in here because I think he'd be more honest. But then we got Simon Thompson who says it's the most consistent and satisfying Marvel universe for a long while. Well, that sounds like you get beat off till the end. Genuinely engaging lead performances, thrilling action, and the most formidable villain in a cycle. Well, we've had a few cycles that suck ass, sir. Brilliant use, not overuse of powers. It's really good time, and it looks amazing. Well, we'll have to see, because we're just a day and a half away from seeing it as of right now. At least most of us on the panel, I believe, are. So, yeah. So, what do you guys think? Nick, do you think this is stacking up to be an excellent Marvel film?
Maybe excellent compared to what's come out in the last few years as far as on its own merits. Obviously, the audience will be the decider of that. It probably is better than the last several movies. I don't doubt that. I could see Vanessa Kirby being fine as Sue Storm. Now, could her character be a little bit too good to the point where she's their girl boss? Maybe. But did I like her initial casting? Yeah, I did. I think that was probably the only one I spoke favorably of as far as the casting goes. So maybe it could be good. Maybe they've been holding everything in from the trailers to not show it being a visually stunning movie. I remember liking Herbie's inclusion. I remember liking it being like a Jetsons-like period piece. I like that the suits have a bright baby blue thing going on. So those were some, and of course I like that the Thing looked like the Thing, even though I can't stand that they didn't give him his proper voice. So there are some things to it that show, I guess you could say, some sliver of promise. And the fact that it's kind of in its own timeline does work to its advantage, regardless of how the movie turns out, whether it's good, bad, average. The fact that it has a chance to just be a story that tells its own thing is not a bad thing. Because if there's one thing we've forgotten how to do, is make a story about either a single character or a single group of characters without throwing everyone else in it. It's one thing to acknowledge, the greater, larger picture. That's fine and dandy. But when you start making everyone included because everyone has to have a part, that's a problem. So maybe this movie did get that right. I won't know. I won't personally know for a while because I just really don't care. I said it then, and I still don't care now. So unless someone wants to buy my ticket, my Galactus bucket, and my popcorn and my drink, yeah, I'm being high maintenance. Maybe I'll see it, and that's a maybe. I value people's time and money, so I don't want to do that to them.
I don't think Pedro Pascal. I mean, Pedro Pascal is actually a decent actor, but I don't think he has the chops to actually pull off this character. I don't know if he has it in him to be.
He'll probably be a good actor who plays a character, but that character is not Reed Richards.
Yeah, and then the best I can probably hope for is that I'll at least enjoy his portrayal, even if it's not really the character.
I'm gonna lick this dick.
As long as the movie holds it together, otherwise maybe I can stomach that, right?
All right. Klekioki says Paulie has seen it and he liked it. Yeah, it sounded like he liked it for the most part. Klekioki also sends in another 2, thank you, and says he also said that Kirby is the standout star in it.
That's a good thing. If that's true, but that is a good thing.
Why though? It's not her. Well, whatever.
Oh, I thought. No, I don't think he was talking about Herbie the android. I think he was literally talking about Kirby, as in Jack Kirby, meaning like his visual style was all over.
I thought you meant Vanessa Kirby.
Clear that up.
Well, Paulie, did you mean Vanessa Kirby or did you mean Jack Kirby?
What?
You said Kirby is the standout star in it.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
Name.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It's her movie.
Why would it be Jack Kirby?
Because that's his creation.
No, but he's not a standout actor.
True. I know. That's why I was like, I don't see the. Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
Bozos.
The art style.
Dark Saber Force says, for me, the biggest issue I found with being a Sabbath fan is how other fans keep saying how the albums with Dio, Ian, Glenn, and Tony aren't Sabbath. Yeah, you'll get that.
Those fans are.
I do agree
with wrong.
this.
As long as Tony Iommi is in the band, it was Black Sabbath because he was involved with the making of every single Black Sabbath song. So yeah,
not just that. There's a few artists who can justify that. Like I said, David Bowie earlier. It doesn't matter who was in the band with him, and he had some great band members over the years. But he was the band, even though he was the singer in that case. He was the band, no matter who was with him. And I think Tony Iommi did earn that.
Tony Iommi was to Black Sabbath what Jerry Cantrell was to Lane Staley. As long as Jerry Cantrell's in Alice in Chains, then it doesn't. That's Alice in Chains.
All right. If you've overlooked that part of Black Sabbath, just plug in sometime later Anno Mundi. Just plug it in. Listen to that track and tell me that's not a fucking fantastic track.
I don't know what y'all are talking. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a great
no fucking idea.
Yeah.
No, Paulie's just like whatever. I'm here to talk about the Fantastic Four.
What's that? Show that.
Something
what is
Superman?
That?
Welcome to Metropolis. What's that?
Ooh.
This is their official pre-book. 4 year, the year he comes to Metropolis.
Nice. I might have to pick that up.
Couple bucks. They it talks about the world. So what's up, man? What's up, guys?
Well, you saw Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I did, man.
So tell us without any spoilers, because we're all well, not all of us, but I think a good portion of us are supposed to be seeing it Thursday, so you're welcome back Thursday night to talk about it on the show. But give us your non-spoilery reaction to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's a good film. It there's a lot to like about it that I liked about it, and the things I was disappointed in, I was surprised. And leads are the four, and their relationship is fantastic. It's fantastic. They're great. They're really good. All the cast and their whole, all their their relationships with each other, and her having a baby brings the family even closer, and then them two as uncles, so they're really tight. So that was really good. I was surprised because it was like, here we are with Superman in this one, really praising the sanctity of life, of birth. It's like a miracle. It's very special. It's like it's another little sign of I was very surprised to see that, and it was and Sue Storm is great, man. She it really is her. It's weird because it's her story, but she's not saving anyone. Like, they're all working together. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. It actually does make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I'd like that dynamic. They should be working to save her. As long as
yeah,
she's not
no, they
overpowering it. Yeah,
they're the adventure that they have and the task they have to do with Galactus. It's really cool. Nice little twist involving Franklin. So we don't want to spoil heavy. I just, again, what I was disappointed in, I don't think the normie crowd is going to be disappointed in, as far as the female Silver Surfer and the Galactus. But
were you disappointed that it didn't beat you off until the end?
Did you see the Chris Gore one I put up? Oh, you didn't see that Chris Gore video? I'm trying to do an out of theater reaction. He comes from behind. He has a little Pedro mustache, and he has
he came from
glow
behind.
stick.
the fucking glow stick, and then he's like, so yeah.
He came from behind and he did that in front of you.
Oh, and I
Wow,
thought
you guys had a good. You guys had a really good night
I
together.
thought you guys were all gay.
In these parts of the woods, we call it homoerotic.
Or we call it a Tuesday.
A toxic Tuesday, might I add.
But
That's right. So you gave it a thumbs up. I think you said a 7 out of 10 was your
I
rating,
think
or
like
7.5 or something like that.
Yeah, like a week 7, like maybe 6.5, 7.
So,
Oh, so you actually
Paulie,
slipped down a little bit since your initial reaction. A little bit. It
A
sounds
little
like.
bit. I think I want to see it again.
I think
I'm gonna take my dad. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
it sounds like your score sounds kind of in line with some of the earlier test screens we were hearing about from some of the Midnight's Edges from a few months ago, saying that it was a fairly good flick. It sounds like it was a fairly good, fairly enjoyable flick. So that sounds right in line with what we've heard. Is all I'm trying to get at. That's all.
Yeah, no, totally. It's very, it's that first half was really a lot of fun. I mean, the whole thing just looks and feels so cool, so different than any of the MCU movies, and there's none of that terrible modern MCU humor in it. It takes itself seriously. Good. Yeah, it takes the world seriously. It everyone's a hero, man. It's not like, again, just because it's Sue centric doesn't mean it's a girl boss story. Everyone's a hero. Now, that being said, they can't do the same thing again when they do another Fantastic Four. We're gonna need to see Reed Richards lead the Avengers. We're gonna need to see that. You know what I mean?
Funny thing about it is the Fantastic Four is one of those few times I would have allowed, or maybe wouldn't minded seeing a little bit more of the goofier side of things, because to me, that's kind of the tone of the Fantastic Four, is more in line with what we got out of Superman. But I mean, I'm glad to hear to a point that they're taking notes, and I think Chris, I saw his post something about they chopped out all the humor clearly or something like that, which I don't even know if there really was any to begin with.
No, there's humor in there, like the banter between Johnny and Clobby that's fantastic, and even Johnny and how he deals with the female Silver Surfer. He's like, there's something. It's a good little take there, and then even the humor of so there's a point where where Reed Richards has to redo the suit for Sue Storm because she's getting very pregnant, and she said, he says, yeah, I made it bigger, and then like she looked like she kind of like because
Okay.
you just don't say that to pregnant women, and everyone in the crowd laughed, and he's like, oh, I mean, I enhanced it, however he retermed it, so endearing stuff like that within the moments, and those moments were that were real. Again, it was a good stuff. Again, my biggest thing is that when they completed the task at the end of the film, I wasn't like, yeah, awesome, it's great. I was like, okay, all right, okay.
It sounded like it was a successful video game mission that was not in a finished game. It's also like, all right, we got through some really badass levels. Where's the big boss? Am I reading this wrong?
I'm trying. See, for me to tell you what I didn't like about it, I have to spoil it.
You can put it in the private.
And then, now that being said, the MCU films have been so bad that it's like the bar so low that it's like, damn, this is good.
I don't doubt it. It probably is like a decent watchable movie. I don't doubt that it is that. It probably actually is.
But it sounds to me like you think they got Sue right. Like she's the glue that holds the team together, but she's not strictly the leader. They do actually need to save her as much as she saves them.
No, they got them all right. They got them all right.
All of them.
Fantastic Four. They nailed them. But her purpose has to do with her being a mom, and she's not putting anyone she's not putting man down. It's none of that stuff.
That's good. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's, and again, there in my eyes, you could. There's going to be a problem. People are going to have a problem with Reed being a backseat guy, even though he does figure out how to save shit.
I mean, Pedro is a backseat guy.
See, it kind of works out in a way. I'm actually not mad about it, because if any man is willing to be in the back seat and take it from behind, it's
he
him.
likes it.
If anything, I'm kind of thanking him in my own bizarre way for taking the role and being the guy.
I don't know. I'm
kind of
mad. I want a strong fucking. I'm sorry.
Give me a strong Reed with an actor who will play and act.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're at a point right now where we have seen. I'm at the point now where we have seen way too much of the MCU. Oh, we lost Nick.
Oh, that's my. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, man. That's my bad.
I'm just to this point though where we're so deep into the MCU. I just want a strong male lead for once in one of my fucking Marvel movies.
Right, right, and that's why, like, I can't blame you. You know what I'm saying? That's why. But it's like, take the win. We did emasculate the men in this film. But I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, I might enjoy it. We'll have to wait and see. I'm like I said, I'm less than 48 hours away from seeing it. My show is at 2:00 in the afternoon. I should be back here in time for the main show. We're going to talk about it there. We're going to get all spoilery, so be prepared for that. Same time, same place, same bat channel. But we do have a couple more stories I want to get to, so I don't mean to cut you off, Paulie. But
all good, bro. It's all good.
But the Go One for One sends in 20 Mexican dollars. So that's like 20 pesos or whatever, or is it actual Mexican dollars? I don't know the difference. Shame Ozzy wasn't in Tenacious D. Dio was awesome. Yeah, there was a little Tenacious D news out there. I don't know if I believe it or not, but
no, I saw that
George Clooney business. Yeah, Mr. Burger's in the house. How you doing, Mr. Burger? Says in $10. How you doing? Says forget about this corporate media dookie. Support the Mr. Burger Show animated series starring Tom Connors as Hot Dog Kickstarter campaign live September 8th. Ooh, looks like we might have to do a little shindig for that. Thanks for the announcement there, Mr. Burger. We appreciate that. Looking forward to that fun stuff. And then we had a couple more stories I wanted, or at least one story and then a video I wanted to get to. South Park comes back tomorrow on Comedy Central after a short delay in what is one of the biggest deals ever for a television show. And I can't help but think that Paramount didn't just fuck themselves in this deal. Because
Trey and Matt are more powerful than Paramount?
Yeah, by
Wouldn't
far. Well,
surprise me.
here's the quick breakdown of what's been happening over the last few weeks, just so people know. You can kind of watch the Streaming Wars episode. That's kind of where this begins. Because it was an underhanded way that Paramount did this deal with the makers of South Park to do these quote-unquote movies or specials for Paramount Plus. And Matt and Trey are like, well, we're not going to animate anything extra, so if this is what we're going to do this year, this is what we're going to do this year. And so they were kind of underhandedly stealing shows from HBO Max, who had an exclusive deal for South Park, a big deal. I think they paid like $500 million for a 5-year deal. I think it was back in the day, maybe more or a little less. Somebody has to remind me in the chat. But that being said, this deal was coming near close, and Paramount decided they were going to cock block anybody else from coming in and bidding on South Park. So Matt and Trey threatened them with a lawsuit for doing that. And in turn, they held back the season of South Park as I don't know if you call it hostage or whatever. But so the deal ended up at the end being for $1.5 billion. And why do I think that Paramount ended up paying more in the end than they probably should have? Because if had they just, I think, and this is just my opinion, so take that as you will, that had they actually been able to go out and shop this around, the deal probably would have been closer to $1 billion. So I think in the end, I think Paramount ended up paying $500 million more just to kind of say, okay, we're going to play nice here. Basically. Oh, Paulie had to go. Okay, sorry, Paulie. He has to run, so.
Quiet way of sliding out.
I guess so, yeah. I was going to let him plug his wares if he had to leave, but oh well.
Pull-out game.
No plug for you.
No plug for you. So yeah, so needless to say, they got their payday. And like I said, I think they got a little extra at the end of this because their last deal with Paramount was for only $900 million. So that's where I was figuring, yeah, the streaming rights to South Park would probably go for about $1 billion for a 5-year deal. I could see Netflix or somebody like that ponying up that much for it. Because for those who don't know, it's a very popular show. It's amongst the most popular as far as streaming shows for past episodes, up there with The Office and Friends and so on and so forth. So CC, I forget if you're that much of a fan or not of South Park, but are you looking forward to a new season here finally?
Yeah, I mean, geez, how many shows have ever gone on this long? They're still not bad.
That are still this good? Not many,
yeah,
if
I mean,
at all. Like The
like,
Simpsons is the only one that's kind of close to it, yeah.
So I was kind of joking, but I'm not really joking that Trey and Matt are more powerful than Paramount. It's like they told them how. they're a pretty big company to tell how, you know? Probably for good reasons. Like, geez, man. I mean, I don't care what genre you're in or what you create. If you can be relevant, you can be culturally relevant after more than 30 years or however long it's been now, that's incredible. And when they put out these new episodes, they're going to be culturally relevant 30 years later.
Yeah.
You know, that just blows my mind a bit.
I think the key to that was them staying out of the Hollywood bubble, to be honest with you.
And it is true that there is something to be said for how they produce these things, which I think is part of what happened here too, right? Because they are actively animating and writing these things the week of, which does create a bit of a different dynamic than when you're doing it 6 months in advance. And at least what I gathered when I was reading these stories is that was part of the issues there. They're like, well, we're doing this now because this is this week. And they of course, they're deft enough to write it so it's timeless, but they are still talking about what's happening right now. And if you're going to delay that, you're going to shelve it for a few weeks. Well, that goes against the whole concept, right?
So needless to say, this was supposed to premiere actually on the 6th, I think it was, of July or the 9th. One of the two here, it says here. But now it's just pushed off until tomorrow.
Yeah. So that does matter to them.
The 9th.
Creatively, it matters that it is that they created that at that particular moment and it is released, right? They don't want
Yeah,
to
they're
have
very
to wait.
timely shows. But Nick, I know you got to leave us soon, so I'm going to let you jump in here and give your thoughts on this. How do you feel about the shenanigans and finally getting to see some South Park?
Well, I'm happy for the boys. They got a nice, sweet payday. And even though I'm still disappointed that they went with the serialized format for the show, I do agree that for a show like this to run as long as it has, it's still better than pretty much any other show that runs this long and still have a good, watchable quality to it. But I'm just glad that the shenanigans is solved. And you know what? These guys deserve it. Even if these, let's just pretend we're in a world where these seasons somehow are just not good. Let's just pretend that. I couldn't even be mad because they've given us so much over the years.
Right.
My face has been in so much pain from the laughs they have given me on Wednesday night for decades. I can't hold anything against them. If let's just say their best days are officially behind us, but they got a good payday because they've done the work and then some. So I'm just happy for the guys, ultimately speaking.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad they got paid at least what they wanted, most likely, because I saw in the chat, Tekkaman, I think it said that they were looking for $3 billion for a 10-year deal. So I mean, that's pretty much what they were asking for, but that's what negotiations are all about. I was just going by, market value, similar shows. But the other thing is South Park has a huge, almost twice as big of a catalog as a lot of shows because it's been on so long, right? I can't even say that for Simpsons, like that it'd be worth that much just because half of the show or better is crap. Like, it's just pure crap. Like South Park, there's very few lulls in their shows that I can think of. Like the more specifically ones is like the following the Trump years because they didn't know which direction they were going because they thought Trump was going to lose the first time out. And then maybe that second into third season ish era. First season's a little thin, but like that was just because they were still finding their footing, right? So like other than that, I can't think of a time where it wasn't firing on all cylinders.
I like the early seasons.
I do, but they're not the same, right? Like, I can't rewatch them like I can some of the, like once I get past like the third or fourth season, that's where I can kind of rewatch any of those episodes.
Dude.
The earlier seasons, I'm kind of
the Jersey Shore episode changed my life. Like when
you guys
they
gotta
teamed
understand
up with the Taliban to destroy Jersey Shore.
You got to understand, like I was a huge fan of the show. Don't get me wrong; it is my favorite show of all time. I'll say that without any doubt.
More than Beavis and Butthead?
Yes, even more than Beavis and Butthead. But
there's more, yeah.
It took the movie for me to get it. Because people kept trying to explain the show to me. And I'm like, I don't see the show you guys are explaining. Because, like, I would watch it and I'm like, all it is just kind of like reminded me of earlier Family Guy stuff in a way. But not exactly that bad. It's just, you had like the Barbara Streisand wackiness, just oddball weirdness out of nowhere. Because it wasn't as topical then. But then as soon as the movie happened and it's like, okay, we're going to start taking on censorship and other things that are kind of more topical, that's when the show, I think, really kind of hit its stride. And you also started having the addition of certain other characters that really kind of started. And also, it was one of the few times where a show kind of shifted focus and it worked better. Because, it kind of did it gradually, unlike Simpsons, where Simpsons flat out went from, it was Bart Simpson's show to now it's Homer's show. Like, and it just did it like overnight. But on South Park, it felt like it went from, the kids are still a big part of the show, but it seemed like it went from the kids as the focal point to more of, the dad. Oh God, I just forgot his damn name. I don't even know why I just forgot his name. Steve, or not Stan, not what the fuck? I'm having a fucking senior moment. Stan's dad. What's his name? Randy. Jesus Christ.
Marsh. Oh, sorry.
Yes, thank you. Oh, Bryant came in at the same time. Thank you, guys. Like, I was just having a fucking senior moment. I don't know why. But yes, when the show kind of became more of the Randy as the focal point, it kind of took off even faster and more hardcore, in my opinion.
I agree. I do agree with that. It really elevated this show on a level I could have never imagined.
Thought this was America.
Stan, don't forget to poke your grandma. Stan, why didn't you poke your grandma? Or when he got so obsessed with cooking, he treated it like phone sex.
I'm Lord, la la la.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
Lord.
Oh fuck yeah. Oh cream frige. Makes you want to get in there.
And all the integrity stuff. And I know some people don't like the integrity stuff, but like, yeah, it needs some more integrity.
That's all right.
Sharon.
Integrity.
The internet episode was also one of my.
Oh, dude, when the internet
There's a spooky
ended,
ghost. There's a spooky ghost.
California way. Oh, and when he let out that huge load at the end, it covered the entire.
It was a spooky ghost. It's ectoplasm. Yeah, that was great. But no, like I'm glad to see it continue on for at least another 5 years. I'm curious if they'll ever end it, but yeah.
As long as they've still got the mojo, which I
Right.
mean, again, William Shatner still does.
Yeah.
And they can keep going as long as they want.
No
I mean,
kidding.
I was just thinking when you say this, like the difference between South Park and The Simpsons, right? They both have huge casts of characters over a very long period of time. Simpsons does not have the mojo, does not have the creativity or the writers to utilize those characters. South Park does, right? They don't have to focus on just those one or two. They can do integrity farms. Doesn't matter. It's going to be all right, you know?
Right. Well, Jeremy sent me this clip, and I saw part of it earlier, and I thought it was kind of poignant. Although I'm kind of, I will be honest, I have some reservations about the Naked Gun movie because of how they treated the original creators, and I'm not a big Seth MacFarlane fan. But this was released today, and I am a Liam Neeson fan.
Can I say that I didn't love the third season of The Orville? I didn't hate it. I didn't like it
I
as
don't
much
think
as
I
wanted
watched
to.
it all, to be honest with you, CC. I quit after like one or two episodes.
I wanted to like it more than I did. I'll just
Yeah.
say.
It hit
That's
its peak with
an
the second
unpopular
season.
thing, but yeah, the second season was fantastic.
Yeah, it hit its peak there. But yeah, anyway, so this was put out here today. Let's check this out.
Hi, I'm Liam Neeson. Every passing year, more and more comedies go unmade, unseen, and unquoted.
That guy in a little coat.
But for the price of one movie ticket, you can help rescue a comedy, and in the process, you'll get to share a smile, a laugh, and even the occasional groan with the people in your very own community.
Ah, as if.
Right now, there's a comedy movie that needs you. Please, buy a ticket right now, so our children, and hopefully their children too, can one day enjoy watching a comedy in a theater.
I like that clip. I gotta say, I like this clip.
There's some good selections there to represent.
Yeah, well, they're all
comedy.
Paramount movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only they're all Paramount movies, they're all Paramount movies that have been remastered in 4K, I noticed. But yeah, see, yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Anyway. No, but the
Still.
whole idea, I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
I like
No,
it.
that
I was told
that
on
that,
that clip.
sells me.
Yeah.
As long as they actually make good on it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully the movie's good. I've actually heard some pretty good things about the Naked Gun so far. I've talked to at least one or two people that have seen it, and
Cool.
said it was surprisingly funny. The other guy said it wasn't quite as good as he was hoping, but the other person said they enjoyed it quite a bit. So yeah. But I wonder if Paulie's going to see that earlier. But
I'm sure he will. He's got access.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. The natural reaction to years of not being able to do comedy is to just go all in and not.
Well,
give
at the
a
same
shit
time,
and
I
get some
hope we
good
don't just
comedy.
accept it as a good comedy when it's not really that great, just because we
Yeah.
haven't had any. You know what I mean?
That's
kind of like
fair,
the Eddie
yeah.
Murphy cracker analogy. It's like you ain't had sex forever, and you get a little piece of pussy. It's like the best thing you ever had. It's like you starving, and somebody gives you a cracker. You're like, that was a cracker? That was no regular cracker. That was a Ritz. Yeah, that was a Ritz. It's like, it's the best cracker you ever had because you was starving.
Yeah, I might feel that way.
So hopefully that's not the way it is. It's not that we're just thinking it's great because it's, yeah. But with that, I know you got a show coming up here, Nick. That's why we're going to kind of shut the show down a little bit earlier tonight.
Yeah.
So we can send people over there. I'm going to let you go first so you can head on over and get that rolling.
Yeah.
So go ahead and plug that and all your other business.
Yeah. Obviously, Toxic Tuesday is on our usual summer break, but when we do come back, I think like the 12th or 13th, we'll be on 3 more weeks of Charles Bronson. But outside of that, our Clubby's Comic Shop is now on Saturday nights, and we'll be doing in 20 minutes, we'll be doing a Thank You Ozzy stream. And no, I will not have the stream monetized, so I'm not going to make ad revenue. I got more self-respect than that. And for those who somehow can unfortunately catch the show, it will be on the new Bonded by Metal channel tomorrow morning. So if you can't catch it tonight, make sure you're subscribed to the new Bonded by Metal channel, because on that channel we'll have that up tomorrow morning, as well as our review of the new Alice Cooper album that comes out this Friday, which is the first album in 50 years to have 4/5 of the original band in it. So
Bonded by Metal,
especially on Bonded by Metal.
Right.
not to be confused with Bondage by Metal, because that's a completely different thing.
Yes.
I found that out the hard way.
So yeah,
Well,
make sure
looking
you're
for your
both
show,
channels.
and
And I'll shoot you guys a link. I'm gonna definitely try to rotate people.
needless to say, I never found your show because I found Bondage by Metal, and my whole night was consumed.
You know what classic band really surprised me lately? That I was like, wow, they're making great music right now. Kansas.
Carry on my wayward. Have they ever stopped? I mean, are you mean
No,
like
they're
brand new
still
music?
going. I'm like, wow, their most recent album is really good.
They're one of those bands.
years
There's this group of bands that just like never stop doing anything. Like everybody kind of forgot they're still. I was like, oh yeah, they're still
Motorhead
doing
never made a
Exactly,
bad
right?
album when they were going until 2015. They never made a bad album. Overkill, same thing. The last 5, 6, 7 Saxon albums have been home runs. The new Accept albums with their current singer, because he's no longer new, but their current singer since 2010 have been exceptional as well. So yeah, they're out there. There's a lot of legacy bands. Even the newest Deep Purple that came out last year was decent too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a band with a lot of lineup changes, but yeah, it's true.
Check out CC Karaoke.
Oh hey, yeah.
It's Canadian.
I'm in and out lately, traveling, but I'm back for a few weeks, so hopefully you'll see me back here a little bit. But business as usual, got the channel back up and running. So if you like singing, check it out.
Well, and I've been doing that from time to time, so maybe you'll join me at some point here.
Yeah, no, I got totally. I got to stop putting that off.
Start spreading the news. Maybe I'll do some later tonight. Who knows? All right. Well, with that, head on over to Nick's show. This will send you over there. And take care of yourselves and each other. Rest in peace, Ozzy. We miss you.
Cute kitty.